March 12th, 2020 order.
I'll be right out, guys. I got a quick meeting.
Suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law and the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Board of Health will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific
Can't hear you.
Pardon?
I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'll speak up. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation can be found on the Office of the Attorney General's webpage. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted. Draft minutes will be posted on the town's website as soon as possible after the
You got
meeting.
both, sir?
Pursuant to Mass General Law, in an emergency, a public body shall post notice as soon as reasonably possible prior to the meeting. Notice shall be printed in a legible, easily understandable format and shall contain the date, time, and place of the meeting and the listing of topics that the chair reasonably anticipates will be discussed at the meeting. For everybody's information, this meeting is being recorded, and if anybody is recording it personally, they need to let us know now. Okay. So, did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting?
I can barely hear you, Jerry.
Jean, Sue, can you hear me now?
Yes.
You
Talk
keep
louder.
fading in and out.
Okay.
It's Jerry. It's, you know what it is? It's when you look down. When you're
Okay.
faced up like that, it's perfect.
Everybody can hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes from
Yes.
last meeting and the corrections?
Yes.
I'll get a motion to approve the
Jean,
minutes.
did you send Jessica some corrections?
No, I saw the corrections that you sent her, though.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I'll get a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting
With the corrections, I make a
with the
motion.
corrections. Yeah.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, yes for Jerry.
Yes for Jean.
Yes, for Sue. Who's taking the minutes?
They're recorded. She
Oh, they're
can,
recorded anyways.
She's
Okay.
she's coming. She's coming.
Okay.
okay, they're recorded so she can get it off that.
Oh gosh. You know what? I think
I
she might
started
be.
it, Tammy. I saw it.
Oh, you did. Oh, thank
Yeah.
goodness.
You just need to tell him it's the Board of Health meeting for September 17th. You're good.
Okay, so we're going to take 10 minutes of public comment. Mr. Moglen, anything?
I actually had a very lovely conversation with Mrs. Spencer this afternoon, and we discussed some of the upcoming holiday stuff. And I don't know if we're going to talk about that at all today. And then I was curious if there was any feedback on, I didn't mention it when I saw her today, was there any feedback regarding the church on College Highway? That seems to be an ongoing issue.
I'm-
Tammy, you want to discuss that now? Or?
If you can just give me a second, I think I sent Jessica the wrong link, so
Okay.
I just need to.
So Doug, why don't we
Go
discuss
through?
that during our COVID-19 discussion?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Joe, anything?
So I got like 3 meetings going at once. So can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. So I'm not looking for answers because I don't have enough time in the day anymore. So first thing is that the church scenario, we are meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. Just so you know, and she'll tell you more about that. But tomorrow at 9 o'clock is our church meeting. I'd like to talk about Halloween real quick, but we're trying to plan a few things, so I'm not sure where Board of Health stands on Halloween as far as it happening or not happening. And you guys can discuss that. The Southwick Civic Fund has teamed up with the Girl Scouts and Chief Bishop, and we're trying to plan a trunk or treat at the high school on that night with the social distancing in play and everything else. We've been dealing with Tammy on it for a while, trying to work out the scenarios that work the best to make our Board of Health happy. And that's really what I got. So if you guys can touch base on it, that's great. and I'll hear from Tammy tomorrow when I meet her at the church for the other situation we're in.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi, sorry, I had the wrong link, sorry.
No problem.
That was my fault. I think I sent you my school department meeting.
It's okay, I'm in now.
Peter, anything you want to discuss with us now?
No, I'm all set today. Thank you.
Okay, then we'll go on to the director's report.
Okay. And Jessica, I decided to start making this a like a thing I'm gonna do before the meeting. I put a copy of everything I'm gonna say in your till. So
Oh, I love it.
it'll be there for you. It'll be there for you.
Thank you, thank you.
Let's see my report for 9/17/2020. Let's see. I witnessed one perk test at 75 Tannery Road. I did final septic inspections at 217 Klaus Anderson, 35 South Long Yard, 7 Sawgrass, 11 Sawgrass, 15 Sawgrass, and 8 Pondview. I approved no plans for septic, which is very rare. I did a pre-operational food service inspection on the new Moolicious barbecue trailer, which we tested out today. I closed out my housing complaint at 5 Feeding Hills Road. I participated in a state COVID safety seminar for public health employees, and also a state tobacco webinar for safety and other COVID issues regarding tobacco inspections, which was great because both events gave me CEUs and the year's kind of coming to a close, so that's great. We had the Senior Center Flu Clinic, the Council on Aging Flu Clinic on September 10th, and there were 68 attendees. I utilized the opportunity to log in the clinic as an emergency dispensing site drill to get credit for this year's public health deliverables, because every year we either have to do a tabletop or a site activation. So this would be called a site activation, where we did a call down between myself and maintenance staff and kind of all the players along the line. Apparently I'm the only one who's so far done that in our Hampden County group, I think, this year. They were very happy about that. And Sue requested our intake from our fees, and the grand total so far as of today was $19,300.
From when to when?
That's for 2020.
Okay, so you don't have the fiscal year from July 1st of 19 to June 30th?
I just thought that was what you wanted, was what we've got for the permit fees this year, but I can figure that out.
Okay.
When we do the, Jerry, when we do the town report, it's for the year, I believe, right?
Okay, that's fine. All right.
But if there's something else you
No,
want, the
that's
only
absolutely fine.
That's
That's good,
fine.
Tammy. Thank you.
while my personal and my inspecting skills might be great, my my office skills have been a little lacking with Melissa only filling in 2 days a week. So that I'm sure she could help me with something that's a little more detailed than that.
You don't need to. When Sue told me about it, it's on a annual basis, and we got the number, we have the numbers, so we don't have to. Sue, is that okay with you, Jean?
And I think we have record-breaking, I believe, at least for the last couple of years, septic inspections or septic repairs, which is, I think we're over the 50 mark already, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Well, that is it for my non-COVID-y related things. So I can move in to COVID, and I'll kind of give you Kate's summary for this week, or the last 2 weeks. We are, let me pull this up. We are now at a total of 74 cases that we've had since the beginning of the pandemic. We have one current case, and I believe it is over at the American Inn.
So that 74 is up one from the last
Yep.
meeting?
Yeah, we actually hadn't had a case, I think, in 18 days prior to that. And our percent, oh gosh, how did she put it? Our rate is at 0.7%, which is scaling lower for the town. We had that little bump 2 weeks ago where they kind of put us up in the yellow risk category, but we're back down in the gray again, which is great.
Was that because of the kettle bread that turned out to be negative instead of positive?
No, it was not. We had 5 cases throughout the community. That was, I think, that was over 2 weeks ago. That was over 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So, and that had kind of bumped because they use a 14-day average. We might have had no cases last week, but there were still cases from the week before. So that kind of kept us up in that area. But we just have one case in isolation right now. Let's see. So I continue to have weekly meetings, and Kate is involved also with the school department, and we kind of discuss the topics for of the week. And the topic this week is, with all the kids coming in, one of the symptoms on the list for COVID is diarrhea. Well, there are plenty of students with IBS and other issues, so how to handle that. So we've talked about kind of rewriting some of the COVID protocols, so if you have actual doctor's note that you have these things, you're not automatically put into quarantine, because for every kid that has diarrhea in the school, I think they'd be shutting it down. Let's see, the travel advisory was updated last week. So now the higher risk states, or the states without the low risk states that you can travel to without having to go through the travel order, the travel form and quarantine, are Colorado, Connecticut, Maine, New Hampshire, New York, New Mexico, New Jersey, Oregon, Vermont, Washington, Wyoming. Wait, this doesn't make sense. Besides Massachusetts, sorry. Yes, and Wyoming.
So Rhode Island is still a high-risk state, is that correct?
Rhode Island is still on there. It is. Let's see. I had one compliance check this week for COVID because I received a letter from the ABCC saying that they had inspected the Westfield River Brewery, and they had found several workplace safety standard violations when they were there. So we went through and we kind of discussed basically their game plan and their setup. We found a couple gaps, and then we found some ways to make improvements. And by the time I left, everything was set up pretty good. And he has kind of a new game plan to work with his staff. And tomorrow I'll be going to the Southwick Baptist to talk about making sure that they've got their plan done correctly and they're set up okay. And that's it. That's my report.
Sue, any questions?
Yeah, how did the motocross go a couple weeks ago?
Pretty good. I've got a lot of video from there. I don't think the attendance was very big, so it wasn't that thickly settled of an event, but it looked pretty good from everything I've been told.
There was supposed to.
On your video, was everybody wearing a mask?
Oh yeah, and like plenty of signage, and it looked great. And you can go online too. The organization posted a lot of videos online too.
Only because I can't verify this, but someone I know works there, and they told me that several people were not wearing masks, and even in the snack shack, there were some people without masks. And Mr. Dede's not here, so oh, Joe, you are here. I need someone to verify that.
I'm here. I've muted you guys and trying to make it work for 2 meetings. There may be some people without masks. You do the best you possibly can, but I would say 98% of everyone there were wearing masks where they needed to. Absolutely.
How about in the snack area?
In my area, yeah, we had masks on. Of course we did.
Everybody had masks on?
Of course, you're talking to the guy that was in the booth. Yes, ma'am, I had a mask on.
Okay.
Yeah, and then sometimes when I cook, I don't, because by law, I don't need to technically have one on between the fumes of cooking. You don't need to wear a mask, but anyone that was out front had a mask on, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Jean, you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought there were not supposed to be any, excuse me, any spectators. So Tammy, exactly who are you talking about? when you
It was
say-
a race for it was a race where the proceeds went to a charity.
So it was just the racers themselves and their support team that were there?
Yes.
Okay.
Sue, you're all set with that?
Yeah, if, right, I mean, I have no way to verify that, so I just bring it up.
Okay, Jean? Any questions?
No, thank you.
Peter?
No, thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Okay. Anything else before we go on to the church?
Yeah, so, when you go, the church is going to present you with their plan, what's the story there?
That is what I hope for. And if they don't have anything concrete, my job before I leave there is to put one together with them.
Do you know how many people they can have there at one time?
151 in the
Yeah.
main hall.
So that's in the sanctuary.
Yep.
Okay, not counting the classrooms and stuff.
Yeah, and so now I know that classrooms, their occupancy is 25, regardless of what number. So if there's the number that they can have in there is 84, but they just changed the regulations for like sort of non-service related activities. It's a maximum of 10. It used to be it's a maximum of 25. It used to be 10. They just changed that last week. So say you had I don't know, like a study group or an AA meeting, you can now have 25 in the room instead of 10.
Okay. Hey, and what exactly happened at Kettlebread?
In the end, the employee that thought she was around a positive person actually had a negative test, and the person that she thought had it also did not have it, but they were still closed for 9 days.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it was. I think like the lesson learned there is to just be, when you have underage employees, probably be more in contact with their parents.
All right.
Oh, so here's my comment about the church. We've been dealing with this since the beginning of the pandemic. I heard that someone was there, went inside, they stopped counting at 120 cars, and there were about 300 people shoulder to shoulder with no masks on last Sunday. And I think it's time to do something. I mean, I don't know if we're going to have to send somebody in every Sunday on Wednesday at noon and at 7 to make sure they comply, but they certainly haven't up to now. And I don't know what you're going to have to do to make them comply, but I mean, I'm tired of hearing it, and I think something needs to be done. That's my opinion. Sue?
Well, yeah, Tammy's gonna talk to them tomorrow, but then who's gonna police them on Sunday?
Tammy?
Well, that's why Chief Bishop is coming along.
Okay.
All right,
That's
he's
your
gonna
answer,
police
Sue.
them? Okay.
Jean?
Yeah, as long as, Tammy has it under control and they abide by what you're going to say tomorrow, and maybe you can educate them. Maybe there are things that they don't realize. That should be fine.
I have plenty of information for them.
Okay.
Doug, anything you want to add? Questions? You're muted.
Probably better. I'm probably gonna, I mean, I'm certainly trusting in the Board of Health to do their job here. And, you know, it's just, I've talked to others and it's a source of contention when there's, you know, a lot of folks that are playing by the rules and trying to cater, to people that want to go to church and participate in religious activities. And, you know, we fully support that, but you know, this thing is not going to be discriminatory where it's going to, you know, rear its head, whether it's at a church or whether it's at, you know, anything. So, you know, it could be potentially impactful to a lot of people in a situation like you saw over at the, you know, what they saw over the church. And, you know, last Sunday night, you know, there was still a
Need to be tighter again.
Hey,
ton of
Joe,
cars over there.
Mute Joe, Tammy.
I got it. So there was a
Okay.
ton of cars over there, you know, Sunday night. Again, we drove, you know, I happened to be out, so I drove by and, you know, it looked like they altered the way that they were parking the cars to make it appear from the street that there was less occupancy there, but there was a big occupancy there. And I don't know what the number is. I didn't count them all, right? But I trust Tammy. She's doing a great job. She's going to go in there and hopefully figure it out. And it's not a matter of, you know, we can't have this. They have to figure out if they have a plan that they can do it safely within the numbers, you know, best wishes, right? But it just seemed like it was flying in the face of reality, given, you know, what other churches are doing and how they're scheduling services and the distancing and everything else, and trying to do their best in this, you know, in this time to meet the needs of their flock. And so I that's my only take on it.
It's not just the other churches. It's other businesses and
That's,
others,
of course.
everybody.
Right.
And if we don't, we need a moral authority because and it's not that they're hidden away in the woods somewhere.
You're fading.
It's not that they're hidden away in the woods somewhere. They're right on the public road and everybody can see it. And they say, well, why am I going to do it? Why should I wear a mask? And why should I not do this and that? So I think, you know, it's time. All right, said my piece.
Okay,
I'll report back to everybody.
Thank you.
Tammy, if this Sunday they don't follow the rules, what's our recourse?
You want to have them in for a hearing?
I'm sorry?
Do you want to have them in for a hearing?
No, if they don't follow the rules, I want to stop.
Shut 'em down.
service there.
I will talk to our MAHB attorney on how we proceed.
And if we need to have a hearing, we can always call it on 2 days' notice, so we don't need to wait for the next, you know, for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it'd have to be right away.
Yeah, okay. I mean, if they don't do it on Sunday or Wednesday or whatever, Tammy will let us know and I'll post it for 2 days and we'll have them come in.
Can we, fine them?
Yes.
Is that
And-
for every person?
Because they just find that place that.
I think you'd have to determine if you want to do every person or for the one instance of it's kind of up to us. It's kind of like the same thing as smoking.
Would you inform them of that in your meeting with them tomorrow, that there is the potential?
I would be.
Okay.
And if you fine them, do they have to have a hearing and all that? Like we do if we find somebody else, like a restaurant?
Well, if you willingly agree and pay a fine, there's no need to have hearings.
Okay.
So let's start at the beginning and Tammy and Joe and the chief will go and we'll see how the reaction goes and then we'll go from there. Sue, what do you think?
Yeah.
Jean?
Yes, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Tammy,
Yes.
What else you have for us?
That's it. I'm done.
Okay, Peter?
Yeah, which church is this again? The Southwick Baptist Church or a different one?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Doug?
I'm good.
Can you unmute Joe so I can ask him? Okay. Jessica, you all set?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay. Sue?
Jessica, did you get those corrections?
Yep, I got them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the 24th, so the 1st, oh, Halloween. Do we want to discuss that now?
Yeah.
Okay. Doug, if you can get Joe, if not, do you know anything about it?
He mentioned something at the beginning about trying to organize a trunk or treat, and like I mentioned at the start of the meeting, I spoke to Tammy informally today in the drive-through line at the town hall. I think, there's been some stuff on the news about Springfield and other towns outright canceling Halloween, and I don't even know if we can even take a position as a town to cancel Halloween because it's private kids going door to door to private houses to get candy. And so do I want a bunch of kids coming to my house? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But you can always turn your light off and the kids aren't supposed to come to your house. Don't answer the door if you don't want to do it. And I've been reading and seeing online with people coming up with all kinds of contraptions and cool ideas, not in a bad way, of, little PVC pipe from the second floor to shoot candy out to the kids so they can still have their Halloween and be safe and not come in contact with, 100 people. I think there's all kinds of ways to do it and make it fun. And if Civic Fun wants to do a trunk or treat and they can, you set up the cars in a way that they're distance and the kids can keep distance and go through and get some candy and have a little fun safely, God bless, let's do it. Let's figure out a way to make it happen. There's enough stuff going on that the kids can't do. And if it can be done safely, there should be a way to figure it out.
Sue?
In my
Okay,
discussion with Joe, we kind of talked about a couple different things, and I had thrown out that it wouldn't be a traditional trunk or treat. We would do a drive-through trunk or treat with stations and, somebody with a mask and gloves handing out prepackaged candy for each kid. I don't know whether or not that's the final say, but I think I'd be much more comfortable with that than kids in large groups walking around.
Sue?
That's exactly what I'm talking. I'm sorry, Dr. Asia. I mean, that's
No, it's
exactly
okay,
what I'm
Dad.
talking about. I mean, Tammy's awesome at this stuff, and the way, coming up with creative ideas and ways to make it be done safely, and you could have, the people handing out candy in Halloween, the gloves and the mask fit right into the costume, blah, blah, blah. Bang, the kids have a good time. It's safe, and there you go. And, that's why Tammy's so awesome.
And
Sue?
I think it was, oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Tammy.
No, and I think it was actually Chief Bishop that had suggested, at first we were talking about maybe doing it like on a Thursday or something, but he said that, if we're going to try to keep kids from trick-or-treating, not keep kids from trick-or-treating, but try to get people to not trick-or-treat, I guess, having something as an alternative on actual Halloween would probably be better. And that's when we decided maybe it would be better to have it on Halloween night. I think up, the high school is up on the hill, right?
Yes.
Up at the high school. It's also got a long area to drive in. And I believe they've already talked about it with the school and got an okay for it. So, and I think that could be a good option, and it could be, it'd work. I think I'm guessing that a large portion of people aren't going to opt to hand out candy this year. I would assume so. I love it, but I won't be doing it. And putting a moratorium on it, I don't know if it's absolutely necessary. I think this gives it a good option for the kids.
Sue?
Yeah, I think Tammy reviews the plans with them. If she thinks it's fine, then I'm okay with it.
Jean?
I think Halloween is the perfect pandemic holiday.
Yes.
So again, Tammy, you do such a great job and you cover all the bases. I defer to you.
Okay.
When Joe came to me, I think it was like early August, and I thought to myself that Halloween seems so far away, and then I realized like it's only less than 3 months away. I can't
3
even believe.
weeks.
3 weeks.
Months.
Well, no, and in August when he came to me,
Oh.
and I like, and now October is it's
Around the
just
corner.
It's
around the
almost-
corner. And I think he actually came to me talking to me about Christmas first.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't think we should be Grinches, but I think we
Ah.
still need to understand we're in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
So some kind of compromise or some kind of creative solution, I think, needs to be tried first.
I think that here on out, and I don't even mean pandemic, I think here on out, creative solutions are going to be parts of our future.
Yeah.
Peter, you have any comments about it?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Okay, Doug, you all set?
I am, thank you.
Next meeting's October 1st, I believe, on a Thursday.
Yes.
Tammy, I think, I won't speak for Sue and Jean, but I think that you've probably got authority to approve these plans and come back to us with it. But,
You're fading.
I think that, well, Sue, are you okay with Tammy? I mean, obviously, quote, negotiating for us with Joe to make sure that she thinks everything is okay?
Absolutely. Looks
And
like
Jean,
Joe's
you
trying to
too?
connect.
Yes, I've already agreed. Yep.
Okay, Tammy, there you go. We still like you.
Thank you.
You're entirely welcome. You are doing a great job.
I like you guys too.
Okay. If nothing else, I'll take a meeting to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to
Motion.
adjourn.
Second,
Second.
Jerry, yes.
Jean, yes.